Single mother Laura sets off on a trip with her daughter to visit the girl's father. But while they're on the road, she begins to realize that something is terribly wrong with her elderly mother, Alicia, who stayed behind at home. Alicia bombards her daughter with frantic phone calls insisting that her caregiver has simply abandoned her. Faced with a difficult decision, Laura asks her former boyfriend, Pedro, to stay with Alicia until she returns. He agrees, unaware that he's about to endure a very long and terrifying night. Horror has several subgenres whose names are formed by attaching the suffix "ploitation" to a particular theme. One of them is hagsploitation, a branch of horror that exploits our fear of old age, both its physical appearance and its psychological effects. More often than not, elderly characters are simply used to make jump scares more effective. But the Argentine-Spanish horror film Crazy Old Lady goes much further, building its entire story around dementia, which takes on a horrifying and dangerous form. The filmmaker's most obvious source of inspiration was almost certainly Misery, Stephen King's novel, and Rob Reiner's film adaptation, about an unhinged fan who imprisons her favorite author after he breaks both legs in a car accident. The basic formula is similar here, but this isn't the 1990s anymore. Audiences have changed, and simple madness or dementia is no longer enough. Crazy Old Lady digs much deeper. Alicia's disturbing behavior in the twilight of her life is portrayed as the result of the psychological and physical abuse she endured in her youth, turning the film into a meditation on male abuse and the scars it leaves behind. Pedro himself is kind, gentle, and completely harmless, yet he becomes collateral damage because of collective guilt. At one point, the film presents a dream sequence in which monsters emerge from the water to attack lonely women relaxing beside an idyllic lake. The metaphor could hardly be more straightforward. Fortunately, Crazy Old Lady isn't just another preachy, half-baked thriller about evil men victimizing women. First and foremost, it's a genre film, and its thematic layer never overwhelms the horror itself. For most of its runtime, it's a grotesque psychological thriller about an obviously unstable woman tormenting her helpless victim. Chains, a kitchen knife, and a red-hot poker all come into play. Alongside the physical violence, poor Pedro is also subjected to sexual assault. On one level, it's a metaphor. Experience for yourself what many women live with. On another, it's simply an effective horror story about madness, spiraling completely out of control. The film's lead performance comes from legendary Spanish actress Carmen Maura, whose career spans more than 50 years and includes countless acclaimed roles and prestigious awards. Here, she masterfully blends confusion, vulnerability, and menace into a single unforgettable character. With Alicia, you never know what she'll do next, and Maura plays that unpredictability brilliantly. Daniel Hendler is equally strong as Pedro, but his character is ultimately an object rather than a fully active protagonist, despite his constant attempts to escape. He's just another piece in the film's bleak equation, a cycle of generational trauma born from violence and abuse that keeps repeating itself.